Never seen that before. Oh, that's interesting. Very interesting. Hello. Thank you for stopping by. Okay. Hello, good friends, and welcome to Kelly's Wordy Reactions. I want to thank you so much for stopping by today. If you would, please hit the thumbs up and like the video as you come in. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I am so happy you decided to stop by. Feel free to hop into the chat. If not, that's fine too. I will still feel and appreciate your presence. All right, let's get the music down. And get back over here. Hi, Cross Country Cruiser. Hey. Hey. How you doing today? I hope all is well with you. Okay, so today we're going to do something a little bit different. I saw this interview with Wade Wilson's father, and actually, I think it was, I want to say it was yesterday that I wanted to play it. It might have, you know what? It might have been Sunday. I think, no, I don't know when it was. It might have been Saturday. Anyway, I saw it. I don't know. This man, he has a pretty big platform, the guy that interviewed him. So I went ahead and sent him a message on Instagram and just let him know, hey, I'm going to react to your interview. I hope that's okay. I never did hear anything back from him. So I'm going to go ahead and react to it. But I'm not going to play the video. And plus I'm on my iPad and I really can't. Can I add, you know what? Invite. No. So on my iPad, I can't bring up another tab anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and play the video, but so I see there's a couple people in here. So how's everybody doing? I figured since I didn't want to play. Oh, you saw it. Okay. It was good. I figured since I didn't want to play his video out, because, I don't really know him like that or at all. I figured that I would just use my tablet and get on here and say hello to y'all. Okay, so here we go. This is, now let me shout him out. So the name of the man that interviewed Wade Wilson's father is, his YouTube channel is Lockdown 23 and 1. So Lockdown 23 and 1 did a really, really good interview with Wade Wilson's father. I thought it was good. And so let's go ahead and hear it. If you're just coming in, I can't, I'm not gonna show it, but if you can look up he's basically just sitting there. They're they're doing the screen share, so they weren't together. So it was Wade Wilson's dad, wherever he was at home or whatnot, and basically something like this. He invited him up on either a live stream or pre-recorded, and they did the interview. So I know, right? Because you know what we can do with some people that might not mind, us sharing out the content. I don't know. But yeah, be sure to go over to Lockdown 23 and 1. It looks like he's got some good stuff over there. Other good interviews that he does. He's a guy that's been to prison, and he's got some prison inmate interview type stories going down over there. And I think that's why Wade's father felt comfortable to interview with him. He is a little sensitive about all of the media attention. And but he felt comfortable to go over and do this interview on this man's platform. So yeah, Lockdown 23 and 1. Phone calls from prison. I saw phone calls from prison mentioned him today. So we're going to go ahead and play it. All right, here we go.
Welcome, everybody, to another interview episode of Lockdown 23 and 1. Oh. That's right. Today, we're going to be hearing from Wade Wilson's father. And for anybody that hasn't been following this case, Wade Wilson killed 2 innocent women very gruesomely. And we're going to get into some of those details today and how he confessed everything to his father. Not to mention, we're going to go.
Now, is that too loud? Is it okay? What do we think about the volume? Let's see. I'll wait for a second. I know I can hear it really good. So, okay. Okay, great. Thank you.
And how his father feels about all this, and speak about some things that weren't even brought up in the courtroom. So let's get into it. If you enjoyed this type of content, all things lockup and crime related, then this is absolutely where you need to be. Hit that like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave, and check out my playlist with many more videos for you to start watching today. All right, buddy, so what's your name and where are you from for the people that might not know?
My name is Steve. I'm from Lakeland, Florida.
All right, let's start from the beginning, man. Take the ship.
I was young. My mom and dad had they divorced, so it was just me and her. And my sister was ripping and running, and I knew Wade's mom, and she got pregnant. I was 15, she was 14. And, we tried. My mom, she had lung cancer, and she was excited to be a grandma, and she died a month before he was born. So,
I mean, what'd you do after that? That's pretty much the only person that you're leaning on at the time, right?
Yeah, I had an older cousin who just graduated college, and she gave, power of attorney to him before she died. And, she was pregnant with his name was Anthony. She was pregnant with him when my mom died. So I went through that, and, I stayed with her, with Wade's mom a lot, and then she went into labor, went to the hospital, had him, and brought him home, had him, for a few months, and then I got in some trouble, and I ended up doing 8 months in a juvenile program. And, I know it was hard on her being so young and alone, basically with a baby. So,
and who was she staying with at the time?
She was staying with her grandfather.
Grandpa.
In Tampa. Yeah.
Tampa. Okay. All right. At least she had someone to lean on a bit, you know?
Yeah, she had a good family. Her parents and grandparents, they were good people.
Okay. So you get your 8 months. She keeps the baby around. At what point does the whole adoption process come through? That came into play pretty soon after, or what?
Yeah, I was about to get out in 2 months, and I got a legal document saying that she was putting him up for adoption. And, you know, I was a kid. I didn't really have nobody to have my back, you know,
So I think this is interesting because the mother and father were 14 and 15, or maybe 15 and 16 by the time the baby was born. And then, so the mom was able to keep the baby for a little while, but ultimately she realized that, you know, she didn't have the type of support she was going to need to keep the baby like all the time. He says she's living with her grandfather. So it does sound like just not, you know, not enough support. I mean, it's good that she had a grandfather to live with. I'm not sure where her mother and father were, but I guess that part is good. But yeah, that's kind of interesting that she did have the baby for a while, and then she had to give the baby up for adoption. That's sad as well, because the baby did get a chance to bond with her a little bit. Sounds like for a few months. He's not really saying how long, but yeah. Okay, here we go.
it was what it was. I couldn't fight that. I wanted to. I got time, but, you know, I couldn't do anything about it.
I mean, at that age, it might have been for the best anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I know me at 15.
Yeah. Listen, as I've matured, I understand that was 100% the right decision to do. So, you know, I'm not upset about it. So.
Yeah. And I'm sure a lot of people agree, you know, including myself. All right. So, and that's pretty much the end of that. He just kind of vanished off into the adoption process. And, I mean, now after the fact, later on down the road, you know, if he lived in a somewhat decent foster care.
Yeah. The people that adopted him, his mother, her parents knew these people from their church. So
yeah, I think I remember reading about that.
Yeah, and they were looking to have a baby boy. So it just worked out where they adopted him, you know, and gave him a good life. They're good people.
Did you know about any of that?
I didn't know specifically who it was or anything. I just knew they were from the church that her parents went to. And, you know, I know at one point they moved to Tallahassee. I heard that over.
Now, he says they're good people, and I'm, you know, in no way, I'm not trying to say anything bad about them, but just because somebody seems like good people, I mean, we know this, right? Just because somebody seems like good people on the outside, that's not really necessarily, I mean, it could be true, and hopefully it is true, but that's not necessarily true when you're living with people day in and day out. I didn't get the feeling that he got a lot of like day in and day out information as far as whatever, you know, Wade ever told him. I think by the time he came in contact with Wade was already out there, you know, just pretty much, you know, wherever he was at mentally and with his habits and stuff, he was out there. So a lot of times people, they tell you about different forms of being mistreated, right, in their own time, in their own way. So I hope they were good people and they always, treated him well. And, but you also don't have to have just out and out, you don't have to get hit or SA or something like that just to grow up and feel like you're not being treated well, or you're not being treated like equally with other kids that are in the house and stuff like that. So we really don't know. We do know though, I know that Fran on Real Talk Bougie, she did, was it Fran or was it Nyla? I can't remember. I'm sorry. Whoever said it, I apologize to the other person. But either Nyla or Fran went and found his background. I actually do think that was Fran, and found out that Wade's father had a long history of arrests and substance issues and stuff like that himself. So whatever is going on with Wade, it could have come in from abandonment. It could have come in from some sort of mistreatment. It could have come in from genetics. He's kind of got it, potentially coming from all sides. But, nothing justifies this behavior.
For the years, but that was it. I never had any contact or anything.
Okay. And some point y'all end up linking back up.
Yeah.
How did that go down?
Just random. When he was 18, I think he had reached out to his mother, and I hadn't seen her or talked to her since he was given up for adoption.
Really?
And yeah. So I got a message or something that he had reached out to her and was looking for me as well. So we got in touch like that.
Okay. So break it down. The first time meeting up with him, man. Well, first off, are you tall?
No, absolutely not.
He's pretty tall, right?
I don't know where he got that from. He didn't get it from us, I promise you.
He might not be yours, man.
Luckily, I did get his DNA test, so I know that for sure.
I hate to say that, bro. I'm just playing, man, But,
yeah, I thought the same thing.
He did say he got a DNA test, so this man is laughing over the top of him, but he did say he got a DNA test.
Like, where the hell did this dude get this height from? Everybody keeps saying he's 6'5". He's not 6'5".
Skips a generation or something. Oh, he's not 6'5"?
No, he's not 6'5". He's like 6'3".
6'3". 6'3". He's 6'3", but okay. That's tall.
Yeah, he's tall. He's still taller than me, I promise.
Oh my goodness! All right, man. I'm trying not to laugh at this type of stuff right now. You know what I mean? But you meet up with him. How was it? Where'd y'all meet up at for the first time?
We talked on the phone.
Yeah, but how much did you talk to him before you ended up meeting up in person?
A lot.
Yeah,
a lot.
He seemed normal.
Huh?
He seemed normal?
No. Absolutely not.
Oh no!
But you have to understand. By the time he came into my life, we were in opposite ends of everything. He was where I once was. He was in active addiction. He was, doing that thing. Just everywhere.
I mean, did he tell you that?
Okay, so he said he was where I was. He was in active addiction. So, and yeah, I tend to think that some of this stuff, not that it's necessarily passed down. I guess if the parents had substance in their system when he was conceived and everything. I guess that part of it can kind of, you know, that can really be a problem, because then the baby, you know, you have it in your system. But yeah, he's saying that, you know, he had a lot of these same issues, and so he's come out of it to, you know, I guess fully, because he's a productive man, you know, working and whatever he does, and he has family, wife, kids, other kids, all that. And then he meets Wade, and Wade is in the middle of where he used to be. So it's so cross country cruiser saying, yes, the father had issues in youth as well. Yeah, father said the mother didn't do drugs when she was pregnant. Okay, I guess I didn't pay attention to that part. But genetics, mental, oh, from the mother, and substance from the father. Oh gosh, he was kind of he was set up. He was set up for a bad situation. Golly. Now, I just think this guy is just diabolical. I guess that's every time I see something from him, one of the calls, or you know, looking at some article or something, I'm just like, wow, he's just, to me, it seems like multiple personality or something, because whatever it takes to, I don't care what type of drunken, a high stupor you're in, whatever it takes to do what he did to those women, especially with the car, whatever it takes to do that, and then come out and basically talk about it and glaze over it like it's not that big a deal. Nobody else should think it's that big of a deal. Yeah, you know, and on top of all that, I need things, you know, help me out. How come nobody's helping me out? Like, help me out, send me the stuff I need. And really just pressing people for his needs. It's very I don't know. I don't know what that is. Disassociative. I guess I need to read some books to figure out what's going on with him. Okay, I'm starting back.
This when he first did he tell you straight up, hey, I'm addicted to this, that, and the third, or okay, he just straight up told you, huh?
Yeah, well,
that's right. It does.
I could tell, and you know, I told him about my past, and he told me where he was at that time, and you know, it really, I felt like I needed to make up lost time. So, you know, anything he wanted, you know, I was sending him money, getting him hotel rooms, sending him Ubers, you know.
Hey, Muffin 218.
You know, yeah. And he was, you know, in and out of jail.
Thanks for stopping by.
He ended up going to prison. And he did about a year. And that's where he lost his teeth at. How'd that happen? He just got dumped on. You know, he doesn't do good with men. Yeah, you know, he's not built like that. You know, he's a coward when it comes to men. Yeah, that's the truth. You know, when he was in prison, he was checking in multiple times, owing people money. You know, just doing that stupid stuff. So his anger's always been towards women. He doesn't try men like that.
Well, was there any time where you felt like that you seen him get violent with women before any of this other stuff took place?
Oh yeah. But what would end up happening is, you know, he would get with a girl and they'd hang out, rip and run for a while, and then something would happen, you know, and she'd end up calling me. You know, he choked me out, you know, he jumped on me last night. you know, I don't know what to do. He scares me, you know, all that.
Mm.
And when he would be high, that's when he gets so paranoid.
Paranoid. He sounds like he's smoking the not meth, but the other one. Yeah, this is really sad that you can't do something about somebody that seems to be like headed in a certain direction. Because it seems like this guy was headed off in the direction, like he's saying that several young ladies called him and said that they're scared. He put his hands around my neck, you know, like I gotta talk YouTube language, but it just seems like I don't know. I mean, I guess that's why the other young lady, Kelly, was saying that if anybody had listened to her, maybe these things wouldn't happen to those other young women, because she said the police basically blew her off and didn't even believe her. And I don't know, it says so much looking at his situation, because I feel like one place where he sort of is intersecting with Nesto is on this looks thing. Like I feel like people think Nesto, you know, looks a certain way, even if it's just because he's well groomed and, you know, he knows how to clean up, and he looks a certain way when he cleans up. He looks a certain way when he's driving these cars and in these certain type of upscale places. And then when he starts talking like money, and it's just the whole picture that makes him look a certain way. And then Wade looks a certain way that people think is just this, you know, attractive person that couldn't possibly have done what this young lady said. And I think Kelly is not, maybe she's not the better looking out of her and Mila. So it's like, okay, you know, you got this mismatch here, this, you know, big tall football player looking dude, and this lady, and oh, he couldn't have, you know, why would he do anything to you? Why would he even be with you? It's kind of like, you know, she was saying the police didn't believe her. And I don't know. I think that is I think that's an issue. Yeah. Yeah, the woman as well. But if the woman had been the Mila young lady, who once I saw her, by her name being Mila, I thought she was like Latina, but it looks like Mila is short for Melissa or something, and she's a blonde. I just wonder, like, you know, like a petite blonde, you know, I don't know what would have been the outcome if she would have been Kelly, you know, with that complaint. I don't know. This looks thing is getting people into a lot of trouble. Okay, here we go.
And he just loses it, you know. He becomes a different. You know how alcohol makes some people courageous. You know, when he would do meth, that's what would happen. But it was always with women. You know, he's never had a problem with women. You know, getting women. So that's who he would always take everything out on, is women.
Did he have any kind of relationship with his mom after the whole adoption thing?
You know, a couple times, you know, I think the adoption has hurt her worse than people think, you know, and the older she got, she just never could pull out of it, man. She's been in and out of prison,
So you've been in his life way more than his mom.
I mean, yeah. She's battled her own issues. You know, she still is trying to get her stuff together. You know, so there was a few times where, you know, he'd want money from me because he'd want to go down to Tampa or St. Pete and run the streets with her. You know, and I said, I'm not doing that. You know, I'm not
with the mom.
With his biological mom.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you know, running with him a little bit.
Well, that's what they were trying to do, but I told him, I'm not sending you down here for that. You know.
So in other words, when he did meet his biological mother, she was okay with letting him, and I say she because I'm putting the responsibility on her because she's the mother. She's the mother, for goodness sake. So she is, it sounds like he's saying she's got addiction problems by the time she's meeting Wade. And she's okay with him coming and running around with her and doing substance. So that's really bad. What I don't feel like I hear is him explaining anything about these adopted parents, except for that they're good people. And I just feel like, where are they? What happened with them? I mean, he could have worn them out and they're tired of dealing with him, of course, but yeah, where are they in all this? Because it seems like at some point he dropped them and just, you know, went into running down his mother and his father for whatever it was he needs. Okay, Cross Country Cruiser, you're saying Dad said, no way, not on my dime. And that's very good. I mean, his dad, he might have gone through his issues, but I feel like it did take a lot of courage to do some of the things that he did, like call the police on him. I know that couldn't have been easy, but from everything that he was telling him, you know, it had to be like, this is the only thing I can do. You know, I can't just let you be out here continuing to just be a loose cannon and wreak havoc on society. Here we go.
You know, that's going to end you up in trouble. You know, I don't want that for you. And that's your mom. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's wild, man. All that put together, it could definitely do something to a young man's mind as a child and going up. You know, that's just how it is.
Absolutely, you know, especially a young man. Well,
some people it does, and also, like I said to you,
and especially
before,
with his mother.
You know, some eggs just come out bad. You know, and there's nothing that you can do about it. You know, it's mental issues, man. You know what I mean? Something's wrong with the ticker.
One thing I've heard a lot of is people have said that when she was pregnant with Wade or Anthony, whatever back then, that she used drugs, and that's not true.
Okay.
She never used drugs with him. She didn't drink. She didn't smoke. She didn't do any of that.
Well, that's good that they weren't doing that at 14 and 15. That is good.
You know, we haven't seen each other or dealt with each other. So I know she's battled addiction, but she never used with him when she was pregnant.
Well, I mean, she was young, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know.
She was a kid, you know, like me.
Yeah. It was different time and age, too. I mean, young people can be addicted, but. Yeah. The majority ain't getting into that super hard stuff till a little older, you know what I mean? But anyways, speaking of which, since you clarified about something, is there any other type of things that you might want to, you know, kind of clarify that you might have been hearing that might be some misconfusion?
One thing I've learned from this whole incident is, you know, I used to be the type that would like scroll through videos and, oh, that's so sweet, or man, that's messed up. And I believed them. I believed the videos. But one thing I have learned man, I don't believe nothing, because I see so many videos of whoever posting these videos like they have facts about something, and they don't even know the half of it, you know? And it really pisses me off, because I'll tell you one thing that pisses me off. They want to post everybody's records. You know, anybody who was involved with this case, they want to post their records.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn if you post my record. It's anybody that knows.
Now, see, he was doing good. He was doing good, and now he just want to start lying. So how can you say that, you know what I got a problem with? They want to post everybody's records. And then you turn right around. He didn't even take a breath. And then he said, I don't give a damn if you post my record. Well, yeah, you do, because you're upset that your record got posted. So which one is it? You wouldn't even be bringing it up if you didn't really care. So, I mean, obviously, he's salty that platforms or news outlets or whatever post his record. But, I mean, you got a bad record. I mean, you know, you was out there doing what you was doing when you were doing it. And I think Fran said he had like 100 cycles. Like he's had a whole lot of cases. I'm surprised he's free. I'm surprised he's out here free, because he's had a lot of stuff that he's been charged with. And some of his record coincides with his wife's. So they even had some things that I guess they were doing together, because some of his charges mirror her charges, same time, same charge, and all that sort of stuff. So, I mean, I hear you, Mr. Wade's dad, but unfortunately, you know, your son, you know, got you out here like this.
He knows my past.
Yeah.
So it doesn't affect me at all.
Okay,
But,
what you talking for then?
You know, I read these comments and videos that say, how can we believe these people? Look at their past.
Well,
They've been arrested. They've been to jail. They've been drug addicts. But you can't have it both ways. Wade's a drug addict. Wade's been to prison. Wade has a past. So you're defending him because you believe he's innocent, and that's your choice. But you know, you can't criticize or judge anybody else about their past.
Y'all, who's out here sending Wade this $60,000? You know what? Let me see if I can go to this Fundly and see how much money he's gotten now. Who done gave Wade $60,000? I mean, so essentially his father is upset because people believe Wade, and they say, well, you have this long record. You know, you're a liar. You're a criminal. You're a criminal. You're a liar and a criminal too. So how can we believe? Let me see. I just want to look for somebody. I don't want to start a fundraiser. I know it was on Fundly. Maybe I'm on the wrong side of the site. Let me see. So he's upset about that, but you know, people are going to just do whatever they want to do. But I mean, I think it is kind of wild that this man has confessed to different people on different phone calls, and somebody is still thinking that he's innocent. What is going on with that? I would think, like, if you want to support the man, support him. If you just want to send him money, then, I mean, I guess it's your money. But I don't know why anybody would be thinking that he's innocent. That's just completely unrealistic, you know. This is strange, y'all, because it says benefits, how it works, fundraising guides, blog, log into your fundraiser. But if you just want to go in here and support somebody, you have to create a fundraiser. That doesn't, and it's Fundly, it's not GoFundMe. I don't know, but earlier today, it was like 61,000. One person gave Wade 60,000. I don't think it was one person. I think, well, you know what? I don't know. I don't know. But I thought it was just like he had something like a GoFundMe up. Let me type in. And different people, like he's got a whole fan club. Of people that, you know, like him and want to support him. And it's just like, really? I would literally be afraid to be alone with them. I mean, any type of no bars between us. I would be afraid to. He does seem like somebody like a Ted Bundy type or something, you know. And I feel like he worked up to it with all of what he was doing to the girlfriends. It's like he was working up to it. And, you know, he's probably got that thing that people have, that type of thing gives them a thrill. So every time he was, you know, intimidating some woman, you know, scaring her, and she's screaming and running for her life, and, you know, whatever he was doing, I guess he was just thinking, oh, I can't wait till I get the opportunity to carry this all the way through. But yeah, I think it was. I'm pretty sure it's a combination. It's like a lot of people that want to support him for some reason. That's what's crazy.
When the person you're defending has the exact same past and a lot worse than most.
Yeah.
So I just think it's so hypocritical, you know?
Yeah. A lot of things can be.
Yeah. Sure. And you know, I've even seen stuff, you know, about my wife, because I had the phone on speakerphone. And, you know, my wife was subpoenaed to testify. She didn't want to testify. I didn't want to testify. But they chose not to use her. So, you know, people have questioned that, you know. Why did the wife what? Why didn't they? It's just ridiculous. You know, it's almost like people are trying to just find anything to justify how they feel about this case, you know.
They wanted someone else to blame other than Wade.
Exactly.
You've already heard this question quite a bit. Let's start about around the time when he tells you about the first murder.
Yeah.
How the hell did that go down, man? Did you even believe him at first?
No. You know, he's never told me a story like that.
I found it. It's 299 donors, $61,530. And the goal is $100,000. There's a lady that's the contact, or I guess it's a lady by the name of Marion Worth in Fort Myers, Florida, who is the contact person for it. The funny thing is, how does he know that she's not going to just, not give him any of the money? I mean, let's see if it says anything else. It's just basically saying, friends and supporters, we invite you to help us prove Wade Wilson is innocent and fight for him to receive a new fair trial. Oh my gosh. Help us prove his innocence. They have got to be kidding. So they want to do an appeal that costs between $150,000 and $200,000 per appeal. Oh my gosh. They've got to be joking, but they're not. And they've raised $61,530 so far. Wow. People are donating big chunks of money, $700, $710, $850, $933, $1,000, $1,000, $2,500, $3,000. Somebody donated $10,100 and somebody else donated $24,000. And everybody that you can see their name looks like a lady. Wow. There's 3 anonymous, but everybody else's name looks like a woman. My God. Here we go.
Hey, I killed somebody. Usually it's a long drawn out, my car's broke down, or his girlfriend's car's broke down. We need tires. We need this. So it was always those type of kind of junky move stories, and just needing help, But so when he called me, I was working. It was early afternoon, and it was a random number that I didn't recognize, but that was normal. He would call me from all different kinds of numbers. He couldn't keep a phone. So I answered the phone, and he said, hey, Dad, I need some help. Well, I automatically thought, he needs a hotel, he needs money, whatever. So it was a hot day. I was frustrated. I said, listen, call me around dinner time. I'll be done working. Just call me then. We'll figure it out. So he calls me, and
right.
He's in a panic.
It's unbelievable.
I could tell he's high, and I need help. I've done something I can't take back. There's 2 people that aren't with us anymore. And
did you know any of those girls? Didn't know nothing about them, huh?
I live 2 hours away, so I'm not familiar with that area at all.
Yeah.
He didn't know the girls.
My first thought was, oh God.
He didn't know those women.
I just thought he was on one. And we talked for a few minutes. I said, listen, I'm on my way home. I said, call me back tonight and we'll figure it out, I said, are you safe where you are? And he said, yeah, I'm good. I'm in the house. I'm good. I said, all right. So in the meantime.
And he's already told you about taking 2 people out.
Yeah, but it was general. That's all he said, and he didn't say, he just said, I've done something I can't take back. So.
Gotta grab my charger.
Now, look, I know you've told, I hate to stop you. I know you've told this story before, but I haven't heard it. Honestly, I haven't heard it. Even in the court trial, I just kind of, watched that little snippet that they had.
Mm-hmm.
But my next move probably would have been to tell my old lady.
That was part of it, because here's where I kind of get things twisted sometimes. I'm a changed person, I promise you.
Uh-huh.
But a lot of times I go back in that mode, okay? And I know when something's going on, a lot of times I just react and I don't take a breath and think about it, you know? And that was part of it. I wanted to get home. I wanted to talk to my wife because I knew there was a different vibe about this conversation with him, but I just wasn't ready for it yet. But I knew something was coming, you know? So I did. I went home, but before...
I'm putting myself in your shoes, man. I'm putting myself in your shoes. Immediately, I would have been like, I'm going to the crib. And I already know what my old lady would say. Look, he killed someone. Record everything. That's the first thing she's going to tell me to do. Record. She's got 4 different recordings and recording every...
Yeah. The good thing about my wife is I've known her longer than I've known, you know, Wade's biological mom.
Wow.
So she knows everything about me.
Wow. That's a long time. Well, before you move forward, look, you being locked up and you know that this kind of conversation's on its way. Are you feeling any kind of paranoia?
No, because one thing about me that I've learned over the years of doing the right thing, I just don't, you know, if my hands are clean, I don't worry about it on that angle. You know, I worry about it on an emotional level, you know, because I don't know where we're about to go with things.
Yeah.
But, you know, but in the meantime, as I'm driving home, I get a call. And it's a detective from the Cape Coral Police Department.
Before you even talk to him again?
Yeah. In between the second call and me getting home to talk to my wife, I get a call from a detective. And what he had done was called me from one of these girls' phones.
Oh, man.
So that's how they got my phone number. And in the process, I got a text message from somebody telling me that my son had jumped on his girlfriend and tried to kidnap her. So as I'm on the phone with the detective, I get a text message that tells me that. So I'm thinking, oh man. The detective asked me who I
me
was.
too, cross-country cruiser.
Biological father.
He has a wise,
said, "Do you know where he's at?"
wisdom type vibe to him.
I don't know where he's at. And she said, have you heard from him? I said, yeah, I've talked to him a couple times today. And she said, are you going to talk to him again? We need to talk to him. And I said, he said he'd call me later, you know? And she said, listen, take this number down.
Wait a minute. But with that being said, did you hear how he cussed Wade out on that call today? Oh my goodness. I kept listening. I was like, okay, it started to kind of like ramp up a little bit. And I was like, okay, well, I hear the back and forth, he's getting a little annoyed with him or whatever. Wade is getting annoyed with his dad. His dad is getting annoyed with him because he doesn't seem to understand. And it's like he's trying to get through to him. And then all of a sudden, the man just goes just completely off and just starts cussing Wade. Right? I was like, oh my. That's what he's been needing. Yeah, that's what he's been needing. It's almost like when somebody is like so far out there like this, this is like to the worst extent of like a child that's trying to get your attention and trying to get you to discipline them, trying to get you to care enough to give them a certain level of discipline. And they keep ramping it up and up and up and up because they need that attention. They want to know that somebody's looking. They want to know somebody's paying attention. They want, that they just, it's like, to me, it's like an attention thing, but it's like on the absolute worst level of, somebody with a child's brain that just needs attention, because people handling him with these kid gloves after what he's done, that's crazy. Like, what are you handling this guy that could take a car and tell you that he wasn't satisfied until it looked like spaghetti on the ground? I mean, you don't have kid gloves, so why is anybody ever like coddling and, talking to him, gingerly and trying not to hurt his feelings and trying not to say things in a certain way? I don't know. I don't know. It wouldn't be me. It would not be me, because and this is not what somebody had to hear that he did. This is what he told this man that he did. So, it's no more need for any type of handling you with care, because you've handled people you've done the worst possible things that you could do to some people. You worked your way up to it, and then you finally ended up, living out your dream. I'm pretty sure this is something that he had dreamed about doing. So no, it's no need to talk to you, and handle you with all this care. Let's see. He made Wade realize he had messed up. That's why he got, crazy with his father. The truth was hitting and hurting. Yeah, because he was like, oh yeah, I see, like, almost like this is what you always wanted to say, or I see how you are. It's like, if you was in person with me and both of them being man, you'd really see how I feel. You would really see. And he did snap. You said you was working and screaming at the same time. I know. I was in the gym at work, and I was like, I'm just listening, and I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, that was something else. And I don't remember who hung up first, but somebody hung it up. I think the dad hung up on him. He probably just got so upset.
If you hear from him, call us. I said, okay. Hung up the phone with her, went home, talked to my wife, told my wife about the text, told my wife about the detective, what Wade had said to me. And that's the only details I knew at that time. So, I was kind of left for a couple hours waiting to hear from him. And he finally called me. It was about 10 o'clock at night when he called me from the same number he called me from earlier.
And it's a girl's number.
No, not the first time. That was from the girl phone. The second time was from a different number.
Oh, okay.
And he told me he was in a house, he was safe. What he did was he took both of their phones. So he kept Christine's phone open and called me from that phone initially. And then a lot of stuff happened in between, and he ended up in a house. He broke into a house. He called me about 10 o'clock, and we talked, just small talk for a few.
And thank God those people were not at home.
And he's like, Dad,
and weren't coming back.
Come get me. I'm in trouble. So I'm like, my first reaction, I said, are you safe? And he goes, I'm safe. I just got to get out of here. So I jump up. I'm going to get my shoes on, get ready, and I'm going to drive down there and get him. Well, as I'm thinking about it, I said to myself, you better find out what's going on before you just drive down there.
Start touching things.
End up in some stuff, you know. I don't want to be involved with.
I'm like, hold on, bro. Hold on, son.
Yeah.
Hold on, man. Let's talk about these two people you killed first. I ain't coming over there and touching nothing of yours. As I would have done straight like that to him.
Yeah. Well, I said to him as I'm getting ready and getting all my shit together, I said, listen, you got to tell me what's going on. I said, you know my past. I said, I need to know what's going on. And he started from the top. You know, he told me him and Mila went to the Buddha, hanging out, you know, and he gave me kind of a shorter version. He said they got into an argument.
And Mila is one of his girlfriends.
That was his girlfriend.
Main girlfriend at the time.
Yeah, at the time, yeah. He said, we got in an argument, and I ended up leaving the bar with two girls. And I was like, okay. He left out the whole part about going to the dude's house and all that. He didn't tell me any of that.
And let me say this. Wade had only been out of jail. So this is something that I've, collected from the phone calls. And I want to say I heard him and Mila having, one of the conversations. So apparently Wade had been in prison 5 years. And I think he had been out 5 days when this happened, which makes me believe that almost like he had just decided somewhere inside of himself that he didn't want to live out here. I think sometimes when people do stuff like this, hi, lovely Diane. Hi. You said you can't watch this case. I know it's a lot. It is a lot. I get it. But yeah, I think he decided he couldn't do out here. And so if you think about it, like, I think when this happened, he was 25. He had been in prison 5 years. So he went when he was around 20, give or take. He must have had these things happening with girlfriends and stuff that his dad is talking about, him not being able to have, regular, just go along and get along relationships with girlfriends. That must have been somewhere between maybe 18 and 20. So, is it just that you've just decided that you're not gonna live regular in, regular society? And like when he did everything at first and he was talking to Mila on the phone, I don't know, to me, he just really seemed like, okay, well, I'm back in here, can you just promise me that we'll just still talk? You'll just still talk to me. And yeah, I mean, if you have any money, I mean, I'm not going to pressure you to give me money for canteen, but if you do have some money for canteen, well, can you just give me money for canteen? Can you talk to me and give me money for canteen? And then I'll be all right. If you'll just still be my girl, I can still say you're my girl. So of course, that's not the whole of it, but I do feel like it was a part of him that just was like, I can't, whatever they got going on out here, jobs and resumes and getting online and getting somebody to, winning people over and credit. And I don't think I want to do it. And maybe that's oversimplifying, but he seemed a little bit like all too willing to just keep Mila, get some money, and have somebody to talk to, and like, I'm good. I'll be okay in jail like that. Yeah, only 5 days. I think and if he had issues before that where he was like in and out of some sort of like juvenile situation, which I don't know that part, but if he did, he could just be institutionalized. He really could. He does sound content. He has money, food, and someone to talk to. Yep. And substance. Because that's another thing that let's see. I'm trying to figure out if it came out in the phone calls or through another means. I think no. This was Fran as well. Real Talk Bougie. She did a piece on him the other day, and she talked about him being in a substance ring where he was getting somebody on the outside to bring it inside and selling. And and see, that's another thing about this canteen money. It's not just for like, oh, I need deodorant. Oh, I need my, Zuzus and Wham Whams, whatever, whatever his brand of Zuzus and Wham Whams is. I don't think that's all it is. I think a big part of why he's so desperate for that canteen money all the time has something to do with some substance that he can get, he can get access to in there. So yeah, he got a lot going on, and I'm still just blown away at the people that want to support it, because he's doing a lot. Even from in there, he's tried to break out, just all sorts of stuff.
All he said was they went back to one of the girls' houses and hung out for a little while. He said her friend left and they had sex, and she fell asleep on the bed. And he said he stayed up for a little while, just kind of partying. And he said he just walked in there, got on top of her, and choked her to death. And at first I was thrown by it. I didn't know. I'm trying to hear in his voice, is this another story?
Mm.
But I can hear the panic in his voice, I said, why, son? And he said, Dad, I don't know. Just wanted to do it. So,
do you believe that?
What's that?
Do you believe that?
The truth about it is, for years, I've told my wife, I said, my biggest fear is one day he's going to kill one of these girls.
Because he's been working up to it.
Because I'm telling you.
You had so many calls, man, from the girls getting beat by him.
Multiple girls, man, would call me, text me, just desperate. Young girls, just don't know what to do, don't know how to deal with it, looking for help.
He had me believing him too.
And everybody would say, when he's not.
I believed him too when I first heard that.
He's funny. He's cool to hang out with, but it's something in him.
He's got multiple personalities. Man, I believe he does.
He flips out, man. I just think.
Because it's a part of him that's very charming. It really is. Like when he's talking to his, I'm sorry for chewing, y'all. I'm so sorry, but this is my dinner, and it's also like keeping my throat hydrated. So please, never mind me chewing just a little bit. But when he talks to his father, when he talks to Mila, especially when I first heard him, I was like, he just sounds so I don't know, childlike, a little bit innocent, a little bit endearing. Um, you know, I mean, he sounded so much like, he was just so desperate to, for Mila to, I don't know, forgive him or take him back, or I don't know, just like he seemed like he was sorry in a way, even though he wasn't really saying that he was all that sorry about what he did to the women, kind of like not even acknowledging them. But it was something about him that seemed like he regretted everything. But then the more I've listened to him and the more I listened to him talk to different people, I'm just like you just said, he is trash. He is, it's very cunning. It's he's very deceitful. He withholds the right information from the person he needs to withhold it from, and then he gives another piece of information to the person he needs to. He's just manipulative. He's just cunning and deceitful, and I mean, and then he turns into a monster. So and then he thinks somehow he doesn't deserve to be called a monster. It's something else.
I think he just took it one step farther this time. I think he's wanted to do that for a long time. Mm-hmm. I know he's never done that before. He's never killed a woman before. I know that. But I feared that he would one day. So when he told me that, it hurt me, but it didn't surprise me. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think he's wanted to do it for a while. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, I think about all these, videos and all this that people talk about. I wonder what all these people would say if all these prior girlfriends and baby mama told their story.
And he has
because
children.
They've been pretty quiet. I haven't seen anything from any of them. Just trying to make sense of it. It's wild to think, man. Yeah, my 15-year-old. These kids, they don't put their phones down. Yeah. So I think it's hard on my young son because his friends have seen it. And kids in school I know have probably seen all this madness, and they talk shit, but he's a strong kid, and I've taught him to be strong mentally. Yeah, and he's handling it really good. Well, that's good. That's good. Yeah. So the more he talked about it to me, the more I could hear it in his voice. He was almost reliving it. You know what I mean? And I had such a feeling listening to him tell me what he had done. It got to the point where I put the phone on speakerphone because I felt like if I told my wife this, she wouldn't have believed me. Yeah. And I felt like I needed somebody else to hear this because I almost felt, I went back to like seeing him born in my memory, bringing him home, holding him as a baby, sleeping with him, bathing him, feeding him, doing all these things with him. I missed all those other years. So my memory of him was as a baby, and now he's a man, and I'm hearing this man that I helped create, telling me the details of all these things with joy in his voice. It made me want to throw up. I literally, put the phone away and felt like I was just going to throw up. And at that moment, that's the moment when I realized I hadn't even heard about Diane's situation yet. But just the details that he went into about Christine, you know, rolling her up in the bedding and tying her up and dragging her down the, you know, trying to get her to the car, but he couldn't. She was too heavy, you know. Hearing him describe those things to me, it just, I can't explain that feeling, you know, from your kid, you know, your son. Now, I didn't raise him, but we had a strong connection because he knew my past, and we talked about that. We talked about, you know, getting help for his demons, you know, getting him some drug help to get off the drugs. We had detailed conversations, and that's why he called me. That's why, you know, he felt comfortable to talk to me about it, because I think a part of him knew that I wouldn't judge him on it, but he knew I wouldn't be okay with it, because we had countless conversations about.
But, you know, sometimes people that do stuff like this, you know, they want to talk about it. They want to, they're impressed with themselves, and they want to tell somebody what they did. And I think he probably used his state of, you know, the fact that he was on his substance and he was kind of flying high at that time, or coming down off of it or whatever. I think he probably just kind of used it to, you know, go ahead and blurt it out and say everything that he wanted to say. There's this other show that I look at sometimes, and I was saying the other day, I look at them and then I stop because I'm like, oh, I'm getting freaked out. I'm scaring myself. But anyway, there's this other one where the name of the channel is Explore with Us, I think. And there was a young guy on there, and Muffin 218 says it's so sad. It really is. It really is. I do feel bad for the little brother and whatever other children, you know, his siblings. It's just awful. But yeah, on this Explore with Us channel, there's a younger guy. Okay, he's out of high school, but he's still a younger, you know, 2019 or something like that. And in high school, they said he had always been the kind of guy that talked very dark humor, always saying something creepy. His friends just knew him to be that kind of guy, and they just thought, oh, he just has dark humor. Like, I don't know. I don't know anybody. If I did know somebody that had dark humor, I'd get away from them. You know, I don't know anybody like that. So I don't know why people are sitting there letting somebody tell them morbid stuff and acting like it's a joke when this guy was serious. I mean, he would joke around about it, but he was fantasizing about that type of stuff, come to find out. So anyway, one day his where did the story begin? I think the story began with him calling the police because he was stuck in the mud at like a bank of a lake or something, right? He had backed in, and I want to say he told the officers when they came to get him that he just parked there just to, you know, sit there and just, you know, think and whatever. And then when he went to move the car, he was stuck in the mud. And then the car literally started sliding down. But what happened was he took, or he, how can I say this in YouTube language? He went down to a place where he knew nobody would see him, I guess. He with a sharp object, he approached a man who didn't have a home, sleeping on the streets. But the man was well known. He actually worked somewhere every day. And so that's the man that he ended up taking out with the sharp object, right? And so he had gone to this lake, I guess, to help to get rid of the remains. And anyway, it wasn't found out about that night. They kind of believed everything that he was saying. They called his parents. His parents came to get him. They called for a tow truck to pull the car out. And anyway, through another course of events, things were starting to unfold. But what made his parents call the police on him was his mother was cleaning up, and she went into his room and just had that intuition to look in this plastic bin in his closet. And it was this section of the man in the plastic in the bin in his room. And just, can you imagine? I don't know. I can't even, I think I'd probably just lose my mind right then and there, mind just be gone. But I'm saying this to say that when the police came and they said, we want to talk to you about a few things, the guy said, oh, I know what you want to talk to me about. And he just blurted out what he did. He just blurted it out. And when they got him to the interrogation, this guy was so happy to be telling this story. He was just, he was just beside himself. Just, like, I don't even know. I don't even know. He was excited. He was telling them why he did it, how he did it, what the man did. They were asking him every question because they can tell when they have somebody that wants to just talk about it. He was happy. He was even coming up with what type of sentence he would probably get. It was awful. But he wanted to do it. He said he had been wanting to do it. He wanted to see what it felt like. And so he just went out and found somebody and did it. And this guy is no different. Let's see. I believe his adopted parents have passed. Oh, they passed away. Okay. I was wondering where they were and why is it, it seems like nobody's talking but the father. And then the father is saying that the biological mother is kind of in bad shape. Let's see. Was he rich? I may have seen it. I don't think he was rich at all. No. Just comfortable. I think it was just mom, dad, and him. The mother was his stepmother, though. I do remember that. Oh, you saw that one? Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes, that's it. That's the one. Okay, you remember it. I had to stop right there. I think I looked at another couple before I got to that one. After that one, I had to get off that channel. That freaked me out. I had to get off the channel. Yeah, he was so happy to tell it. Yeah, that's him. Unbelievable. So sad. That man was loved and missed. Yes, he was a homeless guy, but he was working every day for, some lady, some business that, was employing him. And they were, you know, as soon as he didn't show up for work, they went looking for him. So it didn't get a chance to get cold or anything. Like, they were looking for him the very next day when he didn't come for work. And I think that's how it got found out about so quickly, because another part of it was that his wallet, this boy's dad found the man's wallet in the car. So that was another part of it. He was, I think, for him, he was young, sloppy. Like, I think he wanted to do that, but he didn't have a plan outside of like, oh, this is what I want to do, I'm just going to do it. And I think that was the end of his thinking it through. So it was very messy. So yeah, he got found out about real quick. But, you know, really thank God, because somebody like that needs to be off of the street ASAP, because they're going around like, oh, I get to go to the theme park again today. That's how somebody like that is going to be. So it's good that he's off the street before he could do it to several people.
Of the physical stuff with these girls in the past, and I would try to give him a different perspective. What if that was one of your
Absolutely.
sisters, man? What if that was your biological mom? What if that was your adult mom? Would you want somebody treating them that way? But it never changed. I know, Dad, I know I'm wrong, but the cycle would continue, Yeah. So it was hard to hear, for sure.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. Well, you already know that the detectives are pretty much getting a lead to everything that he's doing. So they're going to hear this.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, before he even started continuing the story, in my mind, I knew, I can't help him with this.
Yeah.
It was sealed shut right there.
I'm a firm believer, man. You don't hurt children, and you don't hurt women, And these women were innocent. It's not like they got they were in a relationship and got in a heated argument. This was on the fly.
Yeah.
And it stemmed from his anger from his argument with Mila. That's where he really got pissed off.
Oh, man.
At the bar.
See, now look, this is another little picture I was painting in my head.
Now, of course, I don't know, right? But I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think, this man went with this whole group of people. They left. They went a couple of places, and, there was relations, a couple of relations or whatever, because from my understanding, him and the lady that he was with, they started to do something at the house of the man, where they went to the house, and the man's mother was there and all that. It was his mother's house, and they just went to his room. So from my understanding, he was having relations there with that woman, and then they had to leave there, and then they went to her house, and then there was more relations, and then the woman went to sleep. I mean, what is he so mad about? Like, why? How can he be mad at this point? You've got access to a car, because he was, all he had to do was wait on her to go to sleep. He could take her car. So you have access to a car, access to a phone. She's not bothering you. She's done everything that she set out to do, and she's asleep. So why is he mad and taking anything out on this lady when he could have found his way back to the original source of his anger, if that's the case. Okay, so then he leaves. He happens up on another lady to ask questions or directions or whatever the excuse was, and then does the same thing. I don't think it had anything to do with him being angry at Mila. I think he'd only been out for 5 days. This is something that he's been wanting to do, and he worked it out to where he could do it. If he was that mad at Mila, why not just do this to Mila? So yeah, I don't think it had anything to do with that. He could have just said, well, I'm ready to go. They could have gotten the car, and then he could have just taken it out on Mila herself. Yeah, he was bound to take out a female eventually. It had nothing to do with Mila. Yeah, I really, exactly. That's exactly the way I think about it. I think his dad is still just trying to figure out, just trying to understand, like, how does this work? Because even though his dad is whatever issues that he has had in the past, he's not this type of person.
A lot of guys, man, you know, if the girl's really mad at him,
so I don't think he understands.
He could have snapped and said, you know what? I'm gonna take her out. Maybe I'll make her feel a little better, because he's so mad in a rage, you know?
Yeah. And I don't know the ins and outs of the argument. He never went in detail with me about it, but I knew that that's where it stemmed from. His anger started there that night, and then, you know, the drugs and just probably stewing on that argument.
But with that being said, Mila did think she was going to lose her life that night too.
So at that point, you know, I wasn't 100%, but I was about 95% knowing this is bad. You know, this I cannot go along with this, you know?
Yeah. And that's the thing, man. A lot of people, maybe not so many, but there's going to be some. That would say, oh, hell no. Even after talking to the detectives and all that, I'm going to still protect him. I'm not, ain't no way, you know. You get smoked right with him. You know what I mean? At this point, there ain't no helping, like you said.
Yeah.
You know, besides mentally, you know.
Right, exactly. And let me just make this clear. I've read a lot of stuff where people say, hell no, you know, that not my son. I would never turn my son in. I would never do that.
Yeah.
Well, it's a hard decision, I promise you. And it's the worst decision I've ever had to make, like, in my mind. But I knew, because I know him so well, I knew in my heart what was gonna happen. 100%. I knew what was gonna happen. I could hear it in his voice, and you know, I tried. It was so bad. I was trying to almost calm him down, you know, because he was so amped up telling me about it.
Wow.
And
that's so scary.
He just told me, you know, he left her. He left her in the house. He took her car, took her phone, and then he went into he didn't go in detail about Mila much in that situation, but he told me he was driving. He's like, I don't know where I'm at. You know, he hadn't been in Fort Myers, Cape Coral area long at all. So he had no sense of direction. He didn't know where he was at. He was just driving. And to jump to Diane's situation, he told me that he saw her walking down the street.
You're right. I think you're right,
you know,
Muffin.
he stopped. He asked her for directions, asked her if she needed a ride, and she got in the car. You know, I don't, you know, I battle with that because I don't get that part of it. And you know, who knows
Who knows?
Really happened.
At that point, he could have just snatched her up, man.
Yeah.
And painted a picture however he wanted to paint it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. He told me she got in the car. And
I hate to stop you again, but you hear comments like that. What kind of girl would just jump in someone's car? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
We don't know. You're don't know, man.
Don't know what
people
happened.
will take anything and run with it, man. You know, it can't. You got to leave. It's too many possibilities. You know,
Well,
what we know.
And there was
again, he can seem very innocent. I mean, over the phone calls, he seemed, innocent, kind of childlike, kind of like a little bit. He can make himself sound naive, and he's tall, dark, and handsome, as they would say. How old is he now? About 30. I don't know how old the other woman was, but I don't think they were that far apart in age for her not to think, hey, this guy is, nice looking, and he stopped to talk to me, and I mean, he's quick with it. He's, I'm sure he knew how to look at her. And did y'all hear him talk to Kristen from the kiosk? he put the charm on real quick for Kristen at the kiosk. Kristen sound like, man, Kristen sounded she had the rough sound, the rough life sound to her. So, but he laid that charm on, and he could have done that with the lady walking down the street. And maybe she just thought, oh man, he looks nice. And, I'm just going down the street, or wherever she was going. You think people kind of know not to do that, but I don't know.
only two people there for that situation.
She did.
And he's the only one that's able to tell what happened.
Yeah.
So, he told me they drove for a few
That's
minutes.
awful.
And he said, Dad, I just reached over and I just choked the bit out with one hand, and I was driving with the other. He said he then was looking for somewhere to dump her body. And he drove around for a little bit. And he said he went in and dumped her body in the woods. And he said to me, when he pulled her out of the car, he realized that she was still alive. And he said he got back in the car and he said, Dad, I run that over till she looked like spaghetti.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Hearing my son say that to me, I realized at that point that it was over. I knew he enjoyed it.
Yep.
I knew he wanted me to feel, I don't even think intentionally he wanted me to feel his excitement. I just feel like he just was so amped up talking about it. That's just how it came off to me. It was almost like he wanted me to feel, I don't want to say joy. I don't know what the feeling.
You know what? I almost like obsess about looking back when I'm backing up. Because I have the, now I have the, the camera in the car. So when you back up, but I still, and like, if I don't look back, if I don't like look in the camera and look back and kind of like keep going back and forth and kind of take my eye and my mind off the camera, it scares me to death. That is something that scares me so bad when I'm not something, when I'm a little bit off. And I always think like, you got to forget about this camera, because I don't know, I feel like it takes away the sense of urgency about looking back when you're backing. Like, I'm real serious about that, because I never want to I can't even imagine, you know, it just bothers me bad to think that somebody is like on a bike or something like that could be crossing my path. So I'm just always, you know, like looking at the camera, looking back. And then if somehow I take my mind off of it, I'm like, oh God, you cannot do that. You gotta just forget about the camera. Just go back to the old method. Turn yourself around, look back there, make sure nobody is back there. For him to be like this about that, it's just unimaginable. Like he should be in the deepest part of the place that they have, so they can make sure he doesn't some kind of way mistakenly, accidentally, or anything get out of there. Because I really do think if he did, all he would do is make sure that he got back to his substance of choice, so he can have that whole, because I think it's a whole vibe, you know, it's a whole, like, the, you know, all of it kind of goes hand in hand together for him. So I think it's like, okay, I get my substance, I get a certain type of person, we get everything going a certain kind of way, and then, you know, and then I get this type of, you know. So yeah, he needs to never be walking free, or even anything that he doesn't even need to be close to anybody he can hurt in there. I would have nightmares. I know it. I know. I mean, you almost feel like you wouldn't be able to breathe. Like, really? You know, and I don't know. I don't know what happened to him, or I don't know, because I think even if he was bitter about his parents giving him up or whatever happened, like when you found out they were 14 and 15, what can a 14 and a 15-year-old do for you, you know, to raise you? And especially if they didn't have family support to keep you and raise you, then okay, these other people, you know, they took me in, they raised me, whatever happened. You know, I think he's got some genetic stuff there, but I think maybe he's got some bitterness, like maybe a lot of bitterness. And, you know, he's taking it out on everybody. Okay, let me see. I do the old method. My husband fusses at me for not using the camera. I don't trust it. I know. Because I feel like it makes me lazy about it in some kind of way. Before I get finished backing up, I can take my eye off the camera. And then when I realize that I'm not really paying attention to it, it scares me. So yeah, I tell myself that all the time. Forget this camera. Forget this camera. Just look back, because you know that's safe. Yeah, you do say cross-country cruiser. I was about to say, you ride a motorcycle? But yeah, so I'm always looking and turning my head. It's a good habit. It is. And I really hate that I'm teaching my 15-year-old how to drive with that camera, because he just relies on it. And I'm like, you might not always be driving a car with a camera. I mean, who's saying that that's just a given? Or what if the camera breaks or gets broken back there or something? You can't just look at these two little side mirrors either. You have to turn your body and look back there. So I'm always telling him that too. I'm like, forget this camera. Yep, especially like if somebody's on a bike and they're able to like get up to you really quickly. Yeah. Let me get him back. Oh, y'all, we're only 39 minutes. I might have to do a part 2. We're only 40 minutes into 1 hour and 10 minutes. But let's see what he's gonna say.
Was just adrenaline, maybe. You know, he wanted me to feel that.
Maybe he wanted you to have some kind of acceptance of it a little bit. Yeah, I don't know, man. Or maybe, you know, he was trying to get you tricked the hell up too. There's some some bitter payback stuff. He's going down. He's gonna bring the dad that should have been there for me down too. You never know, because you know anyone who's been locked up knows talking like to someone like that, you're making them an accessory right off the break. Yeah. Anyone would know that, and if they care about him at all, they would. You know, so they'd be very bland.
That's true. If you don't tell it
everything to you.
And I'm giving you the short version of things.
Yeah.
When I tell you, it's the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. It's the worst thing that I've ever listened to in my life, and it amplified it so much because, like I said, all I could think about was him as a baby. You know, just that innocent kid. You know. And I just
he's a little harsh.
Was like, how did we get here? You know what I mean? How did we get here? Because he wasn't raised like that. His adoptive family, they're solid people.
You don't know that, Dad.
Hardworking,
you do not know that.
Christian people.
Have you spoken to them at all?
Okay.
Since it took place?
Yeah, I've spoken with his mother. Yeah,
I can only imagine how they're feeling about it. Like,
Christian people like Nesto.
I know how I feel. I can only imagine raising him.
Oh.
You know, and they went through
if it's a Christian dad over there like Nesto, not so much.
With him. I mean, they tried everything. They put him in facilities to try to help him. They knew he was using drugs. They tried to get him help. You know, he was in and out of detention centers, and
so he was
a different route. You know, they did their job, and they tried to instill morals and good values.
Yeah, salute to them, man.
Okay.
You know,
so at 42, it's exactly at 42 minutes. So at 42 minutes, I'm gonna cut them off and go ahead and start wrapping it up. But another thing that I heard was that when he was young, when Wade was younger, he saw things. He was letting his parents know that he was seeing some sort of entities. And I don't know if that is a part of schizophrenia. Usually with schizophrenia, it's more so about what you hear, I thought. But he was letting his parents know that he was seeing some sort of entity. And I guess I don't know. I'm going to research that because I don't even remember. I've listened to so many different things. I don't know where I heard that. But early on, before he started getting into trouble or anything, that was what he was dealing with. So yeah, he's very troubled from way back. I bet the hen is mad that he got all that money on a GoFundMe, girl. Girl, Sonya is probably, she done probably died and came back. That is so funny. Yeah, she's probably beside herself. Oh, well. And somebody was saying this too, like if she had been honest, she probably could have gotten support from people. I mean, because there's a lot of people that do what she does. I mean, let's just be honest. Some people, they don't mind doing that. They don't mind living their life like that. So she probably could have gotten some support from those other, ladies that don't mind living their life like that. Probably could have got some support from some men who can appreciate that kind of thing. But by her, the way that she came out here, faking and shaking and all of that, and trying to put some focus on him being innocent when, we hear him. Like, you can't stop people from thinking what we think about him when we have heard him. we it's not anything that somebody told us about him. He told us himself. We're listening to him talk to Shirley, listening to him talk to you, listening to how he talks to everybody. And we have come up with this, listening to other people who've had experiences with the man. Like, you can't make us believe that fat meat is not greasy now. We done ate too much brisket and, pulled pork, jerk chicken. We done ate too much greasy meat for you to try to convince us that fat meat is not greasy, y'all. Like, come on. Okay. Cross Country Cruiser says, around puberty, I think I heard he started changing and experiencing mental issues. Yeah. I'm gonna look that up so I can find out exactly what they said. But yeah, it was about him seeing something. And I feel like somebody said it was, he thought it was something like demonic, but I don't know. I just know it's really bad what he's willing to do to people, and you cannot be free out here when that's how you get your thrill and your jollies. You can't be free out here with people that don't really want to kill like a big bug, or if I see even to like run over a squirrel. Like, if the animals and the bugs wouldn't bother me, I don't have no problem with y'all. But if the mosquitoes, you can't be in here just biting me. I'm gonna pop you. I'm gonna try to just get repellent to like get rid of things. But I don't really just want to go around getting rid of anything in particular. I just want you where you're supposed to be, away from me. So if you don't mind getting rid of people, and you think that that's like a thrill for you, then you can't be free. You can't be free out here with the rest of us. That hen is in disbelief. Uh-huh. Yeah, it'd have been better for her to tell the truth. I mean, it's not like Wade is not lying. Wade has something else. I'm not sure what it is, but I do know that his looks are playing a part. Can you imagine if he was very, very unattractive? That whoever this is that started nobody would be trying to raise him a thing. I think this, even with the tattoos and everything, I think this just has a lot to do with his height and his appearance and what they can see through, even with the tattooed up face. My mother was a kept woman for 30 years. I heard that. Yep. That's a respectable thing for a lady. Let's see. And I agree, but the lies. Yeah. Yeah, he's oh yeah, did the man. Yeah. And honestly, I don't think I really don't think Nesto could have gotten up any support. I don't see that one. Sonya, I just think she could have gotten some like-minded people to support her if she had just come out here saying what was real. And because it insults people, you know, like it insults people's intelligence, and then therefore, like, I'm insulted that you think I'm stupid enough to believe you just because you want me to, because that's the only reason why I would believe you, is because you want me to. And I'm not going to just sit here and let you pull the wool over my eyes like you let this dude pull the wool over yours and just go along to get along. Why? I don't, you know, what am I doing that for? It's dangerous to lie to yourself. That's a dangerous situation. Didn't they say he had a couple of head injuries? Oh, yes, they did. Concussions. They sure did. Because apparently he used to play football. But I don't think, I mean, they found him guilty, so nothing that he tried worked. Whatever insanity he tried, whatever he tried to say, none of it worked. Yeah, bugs have to go. I have had a mosquito. I'm hoping it's gone. It's been like just flying around in here. I've been trying to keep it cold. I've been trying to turn on the ceiling fan. I'm like, why is this mosquito still just able to be in here? It has bit me. I'm like, whenever I can. And I flipped over a tray of, what did I have on that tray? Whatever I had, like some crackers and something. I had a little tray on the bed, and I saw the mosquito, and I thought I was going to hit it. And I hit down and I flipped the crackers and stuff up. I'm like, oh God, what can you, I don't even know what you can get to get rid of. And it's just this one mosquito that won't go away. I haven't felt myself being bit today, so maybe he died. I don't know. I think he's cute, but not handsome. Who, girl? And Muffin said, I don't think he's good looking at all. It didn't help Brothers and Me. It didn't help Brothers and Me. It's hard to find. It's hard to find like-minded like Sonya. Yeah, that is true. But you know, all the people that, what is the name of this song? This blues song, I can't think of the name of it, but everybody that runs to the dance floor. Oh yeah, Side Piece. Everybody that just runs and just hollers and starts running to the dance floor. Whenever I've been out and they play that song, Side Piece. Have y'all heard it? So I'm like, okay, if the song might be, the rhythm of it and everything might be okay, but I'm not hollering and running to the dance floor. This is just, you know, this is degrading at a point. Like, don't holler and run to the dance floor when they start playing Side Piece, okay? I agree with what you're saying about Sonya, everything. Oh, not the food. He got to go. I know it did. It did. And then I had crumbs from the crackers. It was bad. Wade is, you know, if we didn't, you know, like when they show pictures of Wade without the tattoo and everything, and he didn't have that. He got that tattoo in jail this time. So when he didn't have all of that, and he's 6'3", and probably a little stocky and everything. I mean, I see what they're probably looking at, but that's why, like, it is imperative that you have to, I don't know, just don't be alone with people for a long time. But I guess it does say something that the girlfriends, he didn't take them out. He could have, Kelly, and then also Mila. Mila felt like she was gonna be a part of the, she felt like she was going that night, and he kept saying, "No, I was just trying to talk to you. I was just trying to talk to you." And that was another thing I believed. I believed that, he was maybe just trying to get her attention or holding her a little tight or trying to tell her, listen. But Mila thought he was going to take her out that night, and everything that she said that he did to her, and she had to try to get away from him and all that. I was like, this man is an excellent liar. He's going to sit up there and try to get her to believe that he wasn't doing the things that he was doing to her. He hurt her really bad and made her fear for her life that same day. So he is, he's a really diabolical liar. Yep. It was just a matter of time. He was going to, I think, well, it was like he was getting his feet wet with the other girlfriends. And then think about it. He hadn't even been out of jail for that long. So he gets out of jail. They go out. He starts to, do his substance. Either that or that's why he left. I don't know if he had it. I don't know if he had the substance at the club, or maybe they left so that, they talked about, going to get something, and maybe they left for that reason. But yeah, he I think he really didn't have enough time to be out long enough to get to the people that he knew. So, and maybe he just kind of wanted to warm up on the people that he didn't know. Cause I don't, and Kelly, he hurt her really bad. She, she escaped with her life, but she was afraid for her life too. So anyway, y'all, this is, we'll see. I wanted to listen to the one where it's only 12 minutes. I promise I'm not gonna interrupt. I'm just gonna play it. It's a lot of them I want to listen to, but the one with the dad, let's see. Shout out to Phone Calls from Prison. Phone Calls from Prison has another hit series. Okay.
What's up, dude? Hey, it's only 51 cents on here.
Last 12 minutes.
So it's only we're only gonna talk for a second. So why don't you have to call me back so I can put more money on it? I don't know how to do it unless you call me. Alright, so you want me to way to do it? Yeah, because I need to talk to you. Oh, you do? I do. I do badly. Okay. Yeah, very badly. Alright, I'll call you back. So, and how long does 51 cents last? You said what? How long does 51 cents last? I'm really not sure, Dad. I don't really know. It can't be much. Probably like just accepting the call, I think. You have 1 minute remaining. There you go. Okay, listen, call me. You have 60 seconds remaining. All right, I'll call you back. All right. Up on us. Yeah, even if it doesn't accept it, sometimes that shit acts weird. So I gotta call. Just make sure you call me right back. Huh? Yeah, if it doesn't work, I'll call me until call me until we talk. Alright. So, you doing alright? Yeah, let it run out of time real quick. Yeah. Are you doing okay? No, I'm not doing okay. I'm not. Actually. Why? What's wrong? Well, I'll tell you about it when I call you back, because there's only like 20 seconds. I can't tell you.
Y'all hear how he lied? He didn't have nothing that he wanted to say.
Yeah. All right. Well, call me right back, because it's going to hang up in a second. So. All right, then. I'll call you back.
Thank you for using TTM.
What's up, Doug? What's up, man? What's up? What's wrong with you? Huh? I said, what's wrong with you? Oh, nothing, man. I'm in jail. That's all. I know. I said, is everything okay? And you said no. Yeah, I'm in jail, bro. That's why everything's not okay. Oh, well, you already know that. So I want to tell you about a few things on how I feel about a few things, okay? Okay. All right. First of all, that GoFundMe account, that shit was a pretty stupid move, okay? And I understand, you're trying to get money and all that. I get that part of it. But because of that is what sparked all the other bullshit that now is all over the goddamn news. So, listen, I don't know why you felt the need to sit down and have conversations with these media people and go into detail like you did, because I'm telling you how it was received. It was received from everybody who has heard it, and people are posting all over shit, and they're commenting, and the news. You sounded horrible. You sounded like a straight liar. You were stumbling over your words. You were repeating things, trying to, come up with what you were saying. And it really came off bad, Wade. Really, really, really bad. You got to look at it from another perspective sometimes. And, now they're blasting these phone interviews all over the place where you talk about, having sex with Kristen. You didn't even say her name right. You kept saying Kristen, and her name's Christine. So Kristen's the chick you're talking to now.
Wow.
So that really looked bad. What else looked bad is it's like the media doesn't give a fuck about you, Wade. They're not the judge and they're not the jury. So you trying to convince them, thinking, oh, they're going to put my story out there and people are going to feel bad for me or see it my way. It did the exact opposite. 100% the exact opposite. So now what Mila's going to do, and I'm just guessing this, I don't know for sure, but what Mila's going to do is now she's going to come back and do her own story to combat the fact that Mila's spa isn't your and hers business. Her car isn't you and hers car.
Right.
You just her car is not even her car. I don't give a fuck.
He was making it seem like it was their business, their car.
I can give a fuck. Okay. But you're all over there saying, me and Mila, we have a Hellcat. We have a 2016 Hellcat. No, you don't. You know what, Dad? I don't give a fuck, man. I didn't tell the media shit, bro. I didn't tell them anything that's bad for me. They can say I'm stumbling over my words. Who gives a fuck, man? Listen. You can think that way. It's going to bite you in your ass. Because now what's going to happen is when these attorneys when they charge you and these attorneys come to you, I mark my words, they're going to say to you, listen, the worst thing you ever did was do those news interviews because now you're locked into a story that we can't change. So when you're saying all this to the media, you left out the visit between you and me when on a recorded visitation you said what you said. Phone calls between you and me where you said what you said. When you talked to Mila and you told her.
Okay, but who told them anything about phone calls between me and you? Who told them that?
Somebody should send this to Sonya.
Who told them that?
Son.
Who told them that?
Nobody has told them.
Locked
The
in.
detectives have it, son.
Okay, so no one told them that? Stop it, Dad. Stop it, Dad. Give it a minute.
Listen, when you talk to Mila, the media was next to her. She had it on speaker and
yeah,
heard you.
I know that. I already know that. I know that. But I'm talking about with me and you talking on the phone. Who said that? And who's the one that, you know what I'm saying?
No.
Right, okay.
Wait, you're not hearing me.
You know what he wanted to say? Who's the one that called the police on me in the first place? Because his daddy did call the police on him in the first place. Like, this dude literally wants to go around taking people out, telling people who are not about that life, and expecting them to just sit back and be like, oh, well, that's his business. I mean, what did he want his father to do? Just, let him go all around town doing this to people until he got tired. I mean, what did he think his dad was supposed to do? But that's what he wanted to say right there. He wanted to say, you're the one that called the police on me in the first place. And yeah.
Nobody said that. I'm telling you that the detectives, you think they didn't watch that? Do you think they didn't hear all that? They came to talk to you later that night after we visited, and you called me the next day, and I said, hey, did they come see you? Yeah, they came to see me. What happened? I told them the truth, Dad. They have all that. You think that's not going to come up in court?
So talking to the media doesn't fucking matter then.
It changes everything. It shows that you don't give a fuck. It shows that now you're changing your story.
You know what? I give a fuck about people that give a fuck about me. That's what I give a fuck about.
You should.
That's what I give a fuck about. And I'll tell you what, that's the only thing that I give a fuck about, period.
I understand. But what does that have to do with what we're talking about?
Nothing. I'm just letting you know.
What does that
people that have my best interest in mind, I give a fuck about. Everybody else, I can give a fuck less.
And who is that?
Don't worry about who that is. Don't worry about who that is. Don't worry about who that is.
Okay. Wade, good luck to you, son.
Good luck to you, Dad.
Remember this fall.
Just remember when you shit on me, Dad. Every time. Every time you shit on me. Remember that. Yeah, every time you shit on me, Dad.
Okay, buddy. Okay, Wade. All right.
Oh, so you didn't shit on me, Dad? You didn't shit on me?
I haven't shit on you.
Did you?
How did I shit on you?
Come on, man.
Of course I didn't shit on you.
Don't ask me that question like you don't know.
How did I shit on you?
Don't ask me that question like you don't know.
On you?
You want me to not have anybody? You want me to not have anybody in my life? Is that what makes you happy? Is that what makes? No, but that's what you do.
Say that.
No, but that's the shit you do.
What did I do?
Every time. That's the shit you do, man. You know, you're not stupid. You're not fucking. You don't have an IQ of fucking. You don't have an IQ of 50, bro. You're not a stupid motherfucker, bro.
You're right. So don't try me like I do.
No, you try me.
So I guess every time his dad probably tells one of these ladies to get away from him, he's mad at his father for telling the girls, well, you need to get away from him. I mean, he sounds like he's kind of salty about maybe his dad talking to some of the women that he goes off on. It's terrible.
You try me, bro. You try me, Dad. Always.
How did I try you?
You know what? It's so dumb. You always try me. You don't want me to have anybody in my life. That's crazy. You want to just kick everyone out of my life, bro.
Wait, say that shit. Don't get on fucking TV talking about I'm a God-fearing man and I've got 2 little kids. You haven't asked me one time about your fucking kids. Not one time. Now you're on fucking the media talking about your God-fearing and I've got 2 kids. You're a dumbass. Because your stupid ass did what you did. Your stupid ass admitted it. And now your stupid ass is on TV claiming you're innocent. You dumb bitch.
Oh, well.
Now your stupid ass is putting out on TV.
Hey, look how look how when I call you out. Look how when I call you out, how you snap. You see what I'm saying? When I call you out, you show your cards. You show your cards, man. You show your cards, man.
Control his anger.
You show your cards.
You bitches, and now you're fucking claiming you need $8,000 for illegal. You know how much money it would cost to defend your ass on murder charges? What do you think the state attorney thinks?
I guess it's a good thing I haven't been charged with murder then, huh? I guess it's a good thing I haven't been charged.
He think he's so smart.
No, you will be, unfortunately. You will be. And now, Wade, you're going to wear it because your dumbass can't keep your mouth shut.
Oh, well, you can't keep your mouth shut. You tell everybody everything. Listen, man, you tell everybody everything. You can't keep your mouth shut.
Say that shit, Wade.
No, that's the truth, though. You know how sad that is? That's the truth.
My number, bitch.
That's the truth.
Nobody the number because I know the truth. You got this dumbass bitch who on the phone with me. You claim she ain't really a fat girl, Dad, but you know she's borderline a fat girl.
Who cares?
Stupid you sound.
Who cares? You know the game. Why would you ruin my game? Why do you care to ruin my game? Why do you want to ruin my game? That's what I'm asking you. Answer my question. Why do you want to ruin my game? Answer my question. Why do you want to ruin my game? Why do you want to ruin my game?
You don't have game.
Well, Dad, you know what? Sad to say, I came from you, so who gives a fuck?
Lame as fuck, Wade.
Dad, you're lame as fuck. Dad, you're lame as fuck, Dad. You're lame as fuck, Dad.
With your story.
You're lame as fuck, Dad.
Lame with your lies.
Oh, well, who cares,
You
Dad?
deal with it. I care. And you know what? I'm going to stop you. Thank you for using GTM.
Thank you for watching.
Wade
Don't
hung
forget to
up.
like, subscribe, and turn notifications on so you don't miss the next one.
Wade hung up first. I thought it was Dad. I thought it was Dad, but Wade was the one that hung up. He couldn't take it. Oh, he is being like this because he thinks he has all the support for him now. He don't need Daddy's $20 no more. Well, once these years start knocking him upside the head, really, he's already been in there some years. Once he gets to prison and gets that, reality check of not getting out, and then they're going to let him know at his sentencing whether, he's getting the ultimate penalty. So once all that really starts to come down, oh my God, one day he's gonna be mature enough in the brain to realize what he's done. And I don't know. But yeah, well, I thought since it was just 12 minutes, that would be a good way to round off this reaction. Yeah, so anyway, I'm glad that he hung up first, because Dad was still yelling in the phone. He had some more for Wade. Wade had to get gone. He couldn't take it. He was probably about to cry. But anyway, well, y'all, okay, thank y'all so much for hanging in here with me tonight. And we'll do some more. I'll probably listen to the rest of this interview and see if it's any other discoveries in there. But I think we pretty much we heard. Yeah, we heard most of it. It was an hour and 10, so it had a little bit more to go. So I'll probably listen and just report back if there's anything that we need to kind of know that was in that interview, and then we'll pick up. Alert. Then we'll pick up with some more of his stuff, and so of course some more of Nesto and Sonya's stuff. Got to make sure we follow them on to the court days, the coming court days. Thank you, y'all. All right, well, I'm gonna go, and oh my God, I can't believe it's almost 11 o'clock. Okay. As I'm Central Time, so it's almost 11. So I will see y'all on the next one. Let me get off of here and hurry on to bedtime. So I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye. Thank you.